guys, it is Echo. I hope you're having a great day and welcome to a Minecraft title update 14 Witches and Bats Explained video. Now I'm 80 to 90% sure these will be introduced in the next big update, which by the way, 4J Studios the other day did confirm will be called Title Update 14. So witches and bats, how do they work, what can we expect, and how can they change the game? Well, let's jump straight into it. I'm going to start off with witches, so let's go. Witches are a hostile ranged mob that uses potions both defensively and offensively. Witches spawn in witch hunts, which I'm not sure will be introduced on Minecraft Xbox, but they can also spawn in dimly lit areas. So make sure your house is completely lit up, because I'm sure you won't want to come face to face with one of these things. Now, witches are the second hostile ranged mob that spawns in the overworld. Now, for people who don't know the word overworld, this is the normal Minecraft world. This is the one that you create every time you make a new world. This is excluding the nether and the end, so make sure you don't get mixed up with that. The other one is the skeleton. That was the first ever one introduced as a hostile ranged mob. So how will you know when you've come across a witch? Well, in fact, they look very similar to a villager in appearance, but they also have their own distinctive appearance and looks. They wear purple and green robes with brown leggings underneath. Also, they have a very large nose, which in fact does move from side to side on the witch's face. They have a cool little hat, which shows that it is a witch. So hopefully you do have an understanding on what a witch looks like in case you do come across one by mistake. Now I'm going to explain to you the uses and the combat of a witch, but before I jump into the combat and how she does defend herself, I'm going to explain to you the uses, because the witch has many uses, more than I ever did expect. Now when you kill a witch, they drop a number of items. I believe it's between 7 and 8 possible different items. This can be glass bottles, stone dust, gunpowder, redstone, spider eyes, sticks, sugar, and even potions. Now they drop these in different ways. They can drop the item where you can get 6 of one item, or you can get 2 of 3 different items. So you are very, how can I put it, you have a big choice of what you can get when killing a witch, but they are very dangerous on me saying that. Witches also rarely drop potions of healing, fire resistance, swiftness, and water breathing. But potions are a little bit more difficult to get than any other item that I did explain. The only way you can get the potions from a witch is if they have them in their hand and they are about to drink them or take them, because when you do kill it, that will drop the exact potion. So it's kind of luck. It may take you a little bit of time to try this, but I think that is pretty awesome. Now I'm going to explain to you the combat of a witch. They are very difficult to kill, and in fact sometimes you have to be very careful what you are doing. I'm also going to explain to you, if you try to set a witch on fire, she will drink a fire resistant potion, so it doesn't really affect it and it doesn't work. Also, they will not burn in daylight like skeletons and zombies. The witch mob uses splash potions of poison, weakness, harming, and slowness to fight the other player. So if you're attacking it, you have to be careful and be very prepared. I also would say that the witch's potions attack are very scripted. I'm going to explain to you what I mean by that. If the player is at least 8 blocks away and does not have the slowness status effect, then the witch will throw a potion of slowness. If the player's health is at least 8 and is not poisoned, they will throw a potion of poison. If the player is within 3 blocks and does not have the weakness status effect, then you have a 25% chance of being attacked by a weakness potion. So the witch does offer many different uses and in fact has many different potions to defend herself. Not only will she attack players like you and me, she will also attack different mobs in the game. So we're going to be moving on to bats, but hopefully you have more than a basic understanding of how witches work. So let's move on to the bats. How do they work and what can we expect to see from them? Well, bats are passive mobs that spawn naturally in caves and other large enclosed spaces. I feel that bats are very useful for one thing, and that is finding cave systems. So when they are introduced, say you hear a bat, I would suggest mining in that direction. These can lead to definitely some good resources. Bats are the only passive mob able to fly, which is pretty cool. They are the only flying mob that naturally only spawns in the overworld, and they also pretty often emit a squeaking noise. This is how you can find them. Now that is pretty much the only official use of a bat at the moment. They do not drop XP when killed, and they don't attack you. So the bat is a very, very basic mob animal in the game. So hopefully you have enjoyed this video. I have placed a link to the bat and witch wiki in the description. If you want to read more and check out more information, I would suggest doing so before these things are introduced. I've been Echo. It's been a pleasure entertaining you and explaining more information on a daily basis. Remember to hit that like button. It's highly appreciated, and I'll catch you next time. Peace out and have a nice day.